Of course, when you go to court, you can expect a guilty, not guilty verdict. So the court proceeding has taken its course, and I don't know if you would call that justice, but all I can say is that the court proceeding has taken its course.
But we saw him handcuffed and back to prison.
Yeah, I don't know really why he has gone back to prison, but for several reasons, they say he has to go and stay there until he's granted the amnesty certificate. And then there's also a rumor that there's a fresh charge that has been brought against him. And so maybe that is what has taken him back to prison, and that is why he's there until that is sorted out.
What does it translate in transitional justice?
That's a good question, eh? Well, in terms of transitional justice, when you talk about transitional justice, then we are talking about a wide range of things. And we are talking about court processes, but in addition, we're also talking about alternative justice mechanisms. So it means that if the court proceedings have now closed, then we have to look at the alternative justice mechanisms. What else can be done? For example, in terms of reconciliation, what can be done for the victims? I think that is what it translates for what next now in terms of transitional justice.
You talked about the quick survey. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, JRP had a quick survey in which we talked to victims, we talked to local leaders in Pabo, his home village, his relatives, and we were generally asking about their opinion about the Constitutional Court ruling, and we found that there were mixed reactions. Some people were happy about it, some people were not happy about it, especially his direct victims. They were not happy about the Constitutional Court ruling, but others who were not very much affected we are talking about reconciliation, and I think most people were of the opinion that he should not go back to live in Pabo until the ground has been prepared, until victims have been sensitized, and then that's when they can go back, that's when they can take him back to Pabo. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't pick your
Lino, Owor, Ogora.
Lino, I didn't.
Justice and Reconciliation.
I didn't start.
One thing, Mr. Lino, let's assume you were in his shoes. What would be your way forward?
I think the way forward is that the court process has been concluded, and some people are happy about it, others are not happy about it, are disappointed about it, but we have to move forward. So I look at it in context of doing something for the victims. What can we do for the victims now? Victims are still suffering. They need reparations. They need help to move on with their lives. They need compensation for the losses they suffered. And for a person like Kwoyelo, he needs to go back home. So we need to look at how to reconcile him with the victims in Pabo, so that he can go back and live a normal life. I think that's the way forward.
What do you think might happen if he chooses to stay around town, he doesn't go back to the village, and he tries to have a life of a free man in town, rather than going back to the village like you were saying?
If he hangs around Gulu town and doesn't go back to Pabo, it's just like he's postponing a problem which needs to be solved. It's like you have a jigger in your foot, but you postpone removing it. So he cannot hide away from Pabo forever. They say home is whatever, east or west, home is the best. At one point in time, he has to go back home, and it is much more beneficial for him. It's more to his benefit if he looks for ways of reconciling with his victims, other than hiding away in Gulu town. He's just postponing the problem.
Okay, thank you very much. The last question: do you think Kwoyelo is free?
That's an interesting one. Technically, theoretically, he's free, but realistically, he's not free, because it's a known fact he was with the LRA. It's a known fact he was a top commander, and so something has to be done to ensure that he lives a normal life. So legally, he's free, but socially, to interact with the public, he's not free. So that is why other alternative mechanisms of justice have got to be pursued to ensure that he lives a normal life and a free life.
So how long do you think it's going to take for prison to release him? What do you think is the likely happening after he's going to prison?
I think from here, he's going to be held in prison until likely his amnesty certificate is processed, and until the DPP clears him of any other crimes.
All right, thanks.